Right guys, it's been a proper grim day, as you know, so I thought we'd come to my friend's place, the Welsh beach house. If you want to check it out, it's on Anglesey. Stunning. The lads are having a go down there, continuing. We're looking down on the beach now, seeing loads of worm casts, so it looks really positive that there should be some fishing. We've got like 3 hours to high tide, and we've also got an extra virgin Kamado Joe here, brand spanker, that definitely needs christening. So I am going to cook some food on that, and hopefully they're going to get some fish, which maybe we'll eat for breakfast. But for tonight, it's going to be tacos. We've got a lamb shoulder because obviously we didn't get any fish. But when in Wales, you might as well eat lamb if you can't eat fish, right? So that's what we're going to do. What I'm thinking is I'm going to try and take it off the bone and then just slice it as thinly as possible. I'm going to skewer it up and make some really delicious sort of like lamb kebabs. And then we're just going to load them up on some tortilla because I happen to have plenty of masa with me, having done lots of taco pop-ups recently. There's loads of fat in lamb shoulder. So this should be able to take a real high heat. I don't really want to be serving this like pink because I want that fat to render. And lamb shoulder can really take it like you normally serve it pulled. So we can cook these like almost what you'd say would be overcooked a lot of the time. I don't really want it to be blushing in the middle. I'm going to take it to well done because there's so much fat to render. And if we don't, it's going to be chewy. So a whole load of light soy sauce. We're going all over the world with these tacos because there's influence from everywhere. We've got Nathan's wild garlic kimchi leaking in a bag here. Look at that stinking stuff, but that is like liquid salt as well, that juice. So I'm just gonna use some of the juice from the kimchi. We should have plenty of salt and also acidity. We use up the ginger puree, a teaspoon of turmeric, a whole load of smoked paprika, some allspice, teaspoon, some chili powder. Okay, and then I'm gonna get that mixed up. Make sure everything's incorporated. I'm just gonna use half an onion just to kind of hold everything in place, and it means that I can really squeeze everything tight together again once it's on there, because these are all kind of different shapes and sizes. So if it's really loose, it's gonna sort of flap around and not be great. These flat skewers are awesome because they just allow you to sort of grab so much more meat than a round one, and it will stop to a degree these pieces of meat spinning. Like if you have round skewers, you'll find that the meat can easily spin on the skewer. Right, let's set up the grill for direct and indirect. Right, so the coals are lit nicely. We're going to put a deflector plate in the one side so that if it gets too gnarly and charred, we can just finish them on the indirect side here. It'll just sort of carry on cooking more like an oven than a barbecue. But to begin with, okay, so big fat kebabs like this, it's going to be difficult to know exactly when they're done. So we're just going to use the meter again, right down as close to the sort of the middle of that as possible. And that'll give us a rough idea of when these are well done, which is kind of what we're looking for. Because we're just going to rest these directly across, and because they're flat grills, they'll sit nicely on the edge here. Because these are flat skewers, they'll sit really nicely just on the edge there, and we're still able to close the lid, which is just what we want. Right, these are reading like nearly 50 degrees now. We haven't even turned them. Look at those. Just gonna give them a little flip. Gnarly. It might be 3-1 to me, or 3-0 to me if these boys don't get any fish, because I'm providing the food. What are you boys doing down there? You got any food yet? Is that a no? Oh well, meter says the lamb's ready, and to me, that looks ready, man. Look at that. Oh, yes. Yes, Tom, but you need to film. It's for us to eat, not you. Of course you can have some, mate. Yeah. Right, so we're gonna serve these up as tacos. So we've got to make the masa tacos, and also we're going to make some elote, which is like a Mexican corn on the cob. So we're going to set this grill up with the hot plate on one side for the tacos, or the tortilla, and this side for grilling. And then I'm just going to ramp it up, give it a little bit more oxygen, get that heat a little bit hotter. I'm going to give that hot plate time to get nice and hot before we put anything on there, just because you want to cook these tortilla real quick. You want blisters on them and them to be sort of like, yeah, really cook hot and fast. So I'm going to crank that temperature right up now. This might sound crazy, but I'm just literally going to squirt this corn on the cob with some mayo and then give that a good rub. It's going to give it really good flavour. It's almost like butter, isn't it, right? Look at that. That's going to go on that grill. Going to give it an incredible flavour. This is masa, flour, water and salt. Masa is just like corn, a type of corn flour. You have to kind of get it from a Mexican specialist online store or whatever. It's not very easily found in normal shops. You want about 45 gram to 50 gram ball. And the ratio, so I go for like a kilo of flour is 1.5 litres of water, boiling water. A good pinch of salt, mix it down until it's just about tangible. So you'll see there's still kind of a bit of steam coming off the masa. I quite like to work it when it's still a little bit warm. Press it in the press, peel it off of the paper. I use a tiny bit of oil just to stop it sticking. If you use plastic, like a Polly Pocket or something like that, you don't even need to use the oil. But sometimes I find especially with the blue masa, it's just a little bit more sticky. And then all you need to do is toast them like we have been in here. So this one's ready. You want these scorch marks. Make sure it's cooked through. There we go, that one on there. This one's going to flip over. Okay, just going to dress this corn with some cheese. Plenty of cheese all over it. I like manchego. Works really nice. Some sesame seeds, and of course my friend tahini. Now for tacos, obviously, we want this to be kind of really bite-sized pieces. So I'm just going to run it straight down there. Now we cook these, remember we cook these deliberately well done, because this is shoulder. So all that fat now that we saw in there is rendered out, and that is really soft. Just slicing really easily. Oh, nearly forgot to take the meter probe out. There we go, done its job. Some fresh lettuce there. I'm going to go in for the tiny bit of red cabbage for a bit of crunch, bit of texture. Okay. I'm going to go in for some samphire. It's going to bring sort of like a sort of seaside saltiness to these very much seaside tacos. Our fruitless fishing tacos. This is like a reward to the lads for trying so hard today. Fair play. Here we have, Nathan left some pickled wild garlic stalks, which you just mixed with some mint and some preserved lemon. Sort of got like flavours from all around the world here. There's nothing really too authentic or Mexican about these tacos, and I don't want it to be. Just want it to be delicious. So I'm gonna get that in there. Saving some back because we've got plenty more of these to eat. Now I've just made like a chili mayo, just mixing some chili sauce and some mayonnaise. Just a little bit of that on each one. All right, so there's a lamb taco, Welsh style, with Nathan Davis's bits and pieces, bit of my influence, bit from what we can get in Tesco's, and that's it. Oh, bit for Kev. Flipping it. It's like a kebab taco. Very much like a kebab, right? Good.